So, good morning and welcome back to Premier League transfer update. This is slightly different. It's not a transfer update as such. It's more of a football club takeover update. Now, this guy, Mike Ashley, obviously he's been the owner of Newcastle United for the last 13 years. Newcastle fans have been trying to get him out for pretty much all of that. He obviously owns Sports Direct as well, and he's worth an absolute fortune. He couldn't care less about Newcastle United. He openly sits there guzzling his pints on match day, whilst all the fans are sitting there singing Ashley out songs, doing their protests, etc., etc., etc. But it has come to light yesterday in the afternoon, and I'm going to go through the article that you see on the very beginning of this video. I'm going to read it out. It's on Sky Sports website, so I will credit them before they go mad. But he has sold the club, and he has sold it to a Saudi prince, Mohammed bin Salman. And this guy is one of the wealthiest guys on the planet. His personal wealth is £3 billion. Not bad work if you can get it. It'd be nice to have £3 billion right now. But apparently this guy has brought at least 80%. We're going to read through it in a minute anyway. And he has paid 300 million quid for this. Now, this has been going on for quite some time, and I'm going to read the article out to you rather than waffling on. Newcastle takeover. Mike Ashley in advanced talks with PCP Capital Partners to sell the club. We then go further down. Excuse me. PCP Capital are in advanced talks with Mike Ashley to end his 13-year tenure of Newcastle United, according to sources directly involved in the takeover. Now, this is the crucial part of this. This follows significant Companies House legal documentation that emerged on Tuesday morning, proving legal framework for a deal was being put in place between the two parties. Now, for people that live abroad, they might not know what Companies House is. If you own a company, you're registered as a company, you're registered for tax and stuff like that, and you're put onto Companies House. You can see who the directors are, the non-executive directors, the ins and outs, their accounts, everything pretty much. Now, we'll continue on now. I'll come to what I was going to say. Sky Sports News reported in January, Amanda Staveley's PCP Partners and Saudi Public Investment Fund, PIF, were in talks to buy Newcastle. It was unclear as to why there is no mention of PIF in any of the Companies House documentation. Well, I'll answer that straight away. This Amanda Staveley was involved in brokering the deal for Sheikh Mansour to buy Man City. So from a little bit of research I've done, she's married to a guy whose name I can't remember, but I think he's from Saudi Arabia himself. So they run like a brokering business where they get X to buy Z or whatever. So she's going to take her slice of the pie. That's how I've read it. I may be wrong. Listen, if there's any Newcastle fans watching this and know a hell of a lot more about this than I do, leave it in the comments section down below. But let's continue on. Supplementary documents has led to claims Ashley is lending PCP money to help complete the deal. It's always been the case that Ashley was willing to structure payments in a bid to reach a sale. The sale will be a cash deal. However, the transactions will only take place once the Premier League has ratified the deal. The price is around the £300 million barrier. That's the price he's agreed on. The original asking price was £40 million more, and it's thought that obviously because of the lack of football right now, it's had a significant impact on the value of the club. Now, PIF, controlled by Prince Mohammed bin Salman, will hold 80% of the club shares, while Amanda Staveley will hold 10% of the club shares, and is expected to play a key role in running of the club. Now, this is where it gets very key as well. The final 10% will be controlled by billionaire brothers David and Simon Reuben. Now, listen, for people who don't know who they are worth about £18 billion. They have significant property interests in Newcastle, including the city's racecourse. If the Premier League ratified the deal, the prospective buyers are understood to have earmarked significant investment into the club. Talks have been underway with the Saudi Wealth Fund for the past 12 months, with the deal being condemned Project Zebra, reflecting the famous Newcastle kit. It then continues on. Sky Sports went to try and get a comment from Mike Ashley from Newcastle. Newcastle failed to reply and said, listen, nobody was giving a comment out. Mike Ashley is apparently in his Florida home, obviously in lockdown right now. Amanda Staveley tried with a bid to buy the club in 2017, but that obviously didn't go through. Now, Mike Ashley, as we know, has been the owner for the last 13 years. And he's finally going to sell the club. Now, the legal documentation emerged on Companies House yesterday morning, proving the finance changing hands and also the legal framework being put in place for the sale of the football club. According to Companies House, Mike Ashley is set to aid Amanda Staveley and her consortium, which involves the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, to the tune of £150 million. With that money then paid back to Ashley in installments in the coming years. So he's basically loaning them the money to buy his own football club to then get the payments back. This is mad. But yeah, basically Newcastle were refusing a comment and Mike Ashley is not even in the country. So yeah, it's a bit of a madness. It's a bit of a crazy one. And Newcastle are now looking like they are going to be in the hands of a set of really, really rich people. Now, what does this mean for Newcastle Football Club? Because listen, Mike Ashley, we know is not wanted at Newcastle Football Club. And you know what? I bet Newcastle fans right now wish they weren't on lockdown because they'd be out in the Tune, which is a banging night out, Newcastle. But what does this mean for them as a football club going forward? Because it's very easy to get a nice chunk of money coming into the football club, but you have to adhere to the financial fair play side of the game. Will Newcastle suddenly elevate themselves up the table by throwing hundreds of millions of pounds at it? I'm not so sure that's the case. Listen, we've seen with Sheikh Mansour, we've seen with other teams, Roman Abramovich, PSG as well, that you can kind of fiddle it. You can, get one of your other companies to sponsor that company, i.e. the football club, on a 3-year deal for X amount of millions of pounds. You can do that. Will Newcastle do that? I don't know. But listen, the fact that Newcastle is being sold and Mike Ashley has finally given up the reins to that football club, I'm sure is unbelievable scenes in Newcastle. Because listen, he is an owner that goes to games, which is something Arsenal fans always get the ump about. Oh, Kroenke doesn't go to games. He doesn't turn up. He doesn't care. Well, Mike Ashley turns up every single week, and he didn't care. So it don't matter whether you go to games or not. It's what you're doing for the good of the club going forward. And Mike Ashley ain't really done a great deal, has he? Let's be real. They've had 2 relegations in that time. They've come back up. They've had one of the best managers around in Rafa Benitez. They've not got him anymore. They've now got Steve Bruce. What does this mean for Steve Bruce? What does this mean for all the players? The fact that this guy's gone out, or this consortium of people have gone out and they're buying a football club whilst this is going on, with the help of Mike Ashley part funding it. That's mad to me. He's part funding the sale of his football club. So he's basically loaning them some of the money. That's crazy. That's just mental, with the view of getting it back. But what does this mean for them? Like, are they going to start throwing money at it? Are they going to start climbing up the table like Chelsea did under Roman Abramovich? Or are they just going to do a little bit more than what Mike Ashley did? Because Mike Ashley did the bare minimum for them. Listen, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. This is massive news for Newcastle fans, and I'm sure they're buzzing, like I said. I'm buzzing for them, actually, because, listen, I've been to Newcastle a couple of times. I've been to their ground. I've been to the town. It's a wicked city. Excuse me. It's a wicked city. And they're mad passionate on football. So, yeah, man, good luck to them. I hope it all works out for them. Listen, I'm out of here. I will be streaming FIFA So come and check that out a little bit later on today, about 12:30. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Don't forget also, I will be doing a level 1 members stream at 7 o'clock tonight. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Laters, peeps.